Hello everybody, hope you guys are having a great night so far. We're here for the Alpha Team League America's Pro match between AlpX and PSISTM Gaming. I'm your caster Snoopy, and of course I'm joined by my co-caster Salavanth.
How are you guys going? And we have probably the most amazing ATL lineup I've ever seen today.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be really good.
It is going to be crazy. Where do I have that lineup? I think you sent it to me. There it is. We have Game 1, Starkiller versus Epic, a ZVT. Then we have Australia versus Raze, a PvP. Parku Mike versus Warren, a PvZ. And Hino versus Disc, another PvZ. And if you guys are familiar with the NA scene, you probably recognize most or all of those names, because it's practically a who's who of some of the top players in North America.
Yeah, as you were saying beforehand, all these are 5.7k MMR or above, so
yeah, so basically pretty much all of them are in the top 50 for North America. That's the kind of caliber we're talking about here.
Yeah. Alright, looks like our first game will be on Port Alexander.
And we're getting right into it with the TVZ. Epic actually probably has probably the biggest advantage on paper, but he has a lot of respect for Starkiller apparently in the in-game chat beforehand. Says he's playing against the god himself. In the top left, representing PSISTM Gaming, it is the NA Challenger veteran, one of the top Terrans in North America. It is Epic.
And spawning at the bottom right, we have our teal Zerg player representing AlpX. It is Starkiller.
So Epic pretty often finds himself in the WCS Challenger for North America, which is the top 16 players from that region. That includes the pro gamers, that includes Neeb, and that includes Scarlet, and that includes Jon Snow. Epic is usually up there. Usually does get knocked out in the round of 16, but that still makes him one of the best players in the region. And you know who else often joins him? Starkiller.
Yep.
We have a Challenger tier match on our hands right now for this ATL game number 1.
Oh, and we do see a proxy hatchery. Starkiller being a little bit cheeky here.
Both these guys seem to be friends, probably pretty frequent practice partners. And Starkiller decided to do something a little cheeky to start things off. We'll see what Epic decides to do. I think Epic might want to go and block the hatchery at the natural of Starkiller in retaliation. I think that's what he's doing.
He's like, I just have to be different.
Yep. Meanwhile, we'll see what we see next. We have a Marine, which probably means we're going to see a very fast factory. And yep, I think we're going to see the engineering bay. Nope, he's just decided to block it with a regular SCV. As he builds a command center on the high ground for when he's able to fend this hatchery off, if he can. And builds a supply depot, but it doesn't get very far. So it will get cancelled.
Right.
Starkiller will expand.
Yeah. Now, I'm wondering if Starkiller is going to go ahead and cancel this, or maybe he's just going to let it finish and then make a queen and start spreading the creep. That is so annoying for the Terran to deal with. You got to scan and kill the creep, and then wait for the creep to disappear, then you can expand.
I think this is a bit of a bluffing that he's not really committing to this, but he has let the thing start. He might, yeah, as you said, try and get a creep tumor down there. But he's not going to actually commit to roaches or a ton of speedlings to try and break this or anything. He just wants to delay this expansion for as long as he can. Now the question is, if this happens, should Epic expand to the third base or just try and wait?
You know what? I think he should wait, because the third base is pretty open, so it could be vulnerable to like big roach timing attacks. But here we go. The queen is out. And
and we do have some lings actually, and one of the Marines does die. That's going to take so much longer to actually kill that hatchery. And here comes the creep tumor, putting it at the very edge of the creep to try and require 2 scans instead of 1 to clean this all up.
Alright, what is Epic going for? He's going for a 1-1-1 build here. So he is going to go ahead and try to get some tanks out to clean this up. Although this hatchery is pretty much done.
I think the tech lab might just be for Banshees actually. I think he might be going to the Hellion Banshee type of play.
Yeah, that's actually probably a good idea for him to go Banshees, because I mean, usually you can get some damage done with the Banshees, at least 1 or 2 drone kills.
Ooh, and 2 of those SCVs will go down to the Broodlings straight away. Another one in danger. Will he save it? Yes, no,
man.
he doesn't. And now going after the creep tumors, but can he get them all in the purpose of 1 scan? It's so close, and he gets them all. Very nicely done. Now he has to wait for the creep to recede and kill these larvae as well. Meanwhile, Starkiller has expanded on the other side of the map and is getting a roach warren himself, while we do have a siege tank and a medivac. So I was very much wrong. This is going to be an early Marine tank push against Starkiller in retaliation for Starkiller's moves.
Yep, now Lair is about 50% done, or 40% done. So once Starkiller get that Lair done and you get the roach speed, I feel like he might go for actually a nice scan there by AlpX. Sees the roach warren and the fast Lair.
Doesn't see the double evo chambers though, so he doesn't know how committed Starkiller is to any sort of early aggression, which is not very. Because I think with these 2 evo chambers coming up with a lot of gas saved up for Starkiller, this could be a pretty nasty push, although there is only 1 siege tank. The second one is going to have to come across. Once that second siege tank joins in, it could be very, very devastating. There's some pretty nasty places. Like if you put 1 siege tank on the low ground and 1 on the high ground, for instance, that could be very effective.
Oh yeah, that is definitely something really difficult to deal with, even as a Protoss against a Terran. Anyhow, looks like the tank is going to siege up.
Oh, beautiful positioning on that tank. Though remember, there is no stim, but that roach warren is actually under fire.
Yeah, so roach speed is not going to finish, and drones being pulled here. He's going to commit it.
Yep, 1 Ravager is there to help kill this tank, but the tank stays alive for just so very long. The Queen goes down, a ton of drones are going to get killed as well. This is doing crippling damage to Starkiller.
Oh no, the Queen went down as well, so there's no additional larva, and so much drones.
8 roaches are on the way, so it looks like Starkiller will eventually fend this off, but he's going to lose so much mining time in the meantime. And he's lost a lot of drones as well, and he's even losing overlords now. This little push from Epic is doing some serious damage.
Yeah, even if Starkiller cleans this up, is definitely a really nice trade here on the part of Epic.
He does clean up in the end. He's looking to take a 3rd base very shortly.
Now it's important to note that the roach warren was not actually taken down during that attack, so roach speed is going to actually finish here, so which is pretty nice.
This 3rd base could actually get cancelled though. There's not really enough roaches to defend in 2 places at once. These roaches could actually get isolated. I think those Marines could have actually won that fight if they'd chosen to take it. But roach speed is now done. +1/+1 going to be finished. I think Starkiller might go for some sort of timing attack. But he needs to get rid of this medivac. He needs to at least damage it enough to force it back, because otherwise all of his roaches need to protect his base.
Yeah, he's definitely wants to send all his roaches if he's going to do that timing attack. Plus 1/1 is about to be done for Starkiller, so this is pretty good time for him to move out, but still needs to deal with this medevac here.
Yeah, Epic's just getting so much done with this. A lot done with a little. Keeping Starkiller back, taking away his vision. Starkiller barely sees anything. He sees the third base. That's about the one useful thing he's actually seeing. Though the medivac is starting to take some shots, so it may need to retreat. +2/+2 already on the way for Starkiller. So Starkiller will have a pretty decisive upgrade lead, but that just doesn't matter if he can't produce the units. He's down 20 supply, he's down 5 workers, and he's only just now starting his third base. And we have 3 tanks, as well as a couple of marauders for Epic. So Epic's going for a very anti-roach army. Remember, Starkiller loves this kind of play. We figured this out in Starkiller versus Pig. He loves his Roach Ravager, and Epic and Starkiller are clearly friends. They clearly practice with each other a lot, and Epic will know of this tendency of Starkiller to play like this.
Alright, I mean, if you were in Starkiller's position, I mean, how do you think you would go about it to try to come back into this game?
I think Mutalisks would be a good choice.
Ah, yes.
Because there's a lot of tanks, there's a lot of marauders, there's not any turrets or anything. It's not really a kind of thing that Starkiller does a lot, and I think it could definitely catch Epic off guard, especially if Epic doesn't do a lot of scouting because he thinks he already knows what's coming.
Yeah, Mutas is one of those units that when you're behind, you know, as a Protoss, you say one behind Dark Shrine. Well, for Zerg players, it's usually Mutas because you can catch the opponent off guard. But here we have 2 medevac drop coming from Epic, and we'll see if Starkiller has enough to defend against this.
He has enough units, but I just don't know if he has them in the right positions. He's got most of them at his third base. He does have a couple near his natural, but they're already storming up this ramp, so a couple of Ravagers are just going to get killed for free. He's pulling the rest of his units back, but even so, Epic's got the damage done that he needs. He's traded 2 Ravagers for 2 Marines, and that's always a good trade for the Terran.
Yeah, Starkiller needs every single unit at this point here.
And that 2/2 upgrade lead that's now finishing for Starkiller, it's not going to lead to much if he can't get some aggression done, because he's not going to be able to make 3/3 for a long time. So he needs to get across the map and attack, and Epic knows this. So Epic is just going to keep these medivacs around. One of the chief weaknesses of the Roach Ravager style is an inability to snipe medivacs, an inability to deal with drops efficiently if they just keep doing this over and over again.
Oh man, it's so annoying. He doesn't have any anti-air. I mean, you could try to use corrosive bow. That's so hard. It's like a needle in a haystack. It's like you gotta...
Yeah, and Epic is clearly on top of this. I don't think Epic's going to get caught like this, which means that Starkiller cannot attack. And he's down 13 workers. He's not up a base. He's in a terrible position. He needs to, like, move across the map and get some damage done, but Epic's just not going to let him. But he's going to try anyway. He's got some roaches finishing up that can help defend against this double medivac drop. He's making a lot of ravages, and he knows he has to attack now, but look at all those tanks and look at the spread on them. I don't see these getting really much done at all.
Yeah, just a really great fortified position from Epic. I don't see this happening as well.
Epic knows Starkiller's playstyle and is using it against him mercilessly.
Oh man,
Starkiller just cannot break in.
Meanwhile, across the map, the double medivac drop still underway, but
still doing damage. And Starkiller's forced to back away, and he can't do anything. He's getting burrow and tunneling claws. He's doubling down on these roaches, and I just don't see them getting much done. There's even turrets at the natural and third for Epic now. He knows this could be a thing that might happen, and he's prepared. And now he's moving out with 7 tanks, and a huge marine-based force.
Oh.
And Starkiller's going to have serious trouble beating this. 2/2 is done. The upgrade lead is gone. What can Starkiller do? He needs an incredible engagement. He's trying for a flank.
Oh, but half his army is actually on the bottom side.
Yeah, the flank is going to arrive too late. Oh, see, the flank gets a couple of tanks, but it's going to lose so much for it. Starkiller moves in, but this flank is just not doing the job. Starkiller's supply is falling. Epic stimmed Marines are just killing everything. Roach Ravager does not scale well enough into the late game, and he was unable to get any damage done. Epic was impenetrable as Starkiller tried to break through. If you're looking for a blueprint on how to beat this style, this is exactly what you are supposed to do. Epic putting on a clinic against Starkiller's aggressive style of play.
Alrighty there.
Wow. Epic just knows how to beat that style so incredibly
Yeah, I mean,
right.
Starkiller did go for, you know, a little cheeky play in the beginning. I think it didn't delay the expansion too much, especially with that one scan that killed all the 3 creep tumors that allowed him to expand rather quickly. So didn't really pay off in the long run for Starkiller there.
Yeah, I'm just in awe at that level of play. That was incredible.
Yeah, now PSISTM up 1 game to 0, and the next map will be on, let's see, Stasis.
Yep, and it will be a PvP, Australia versus Raze. Another very high level game, but they are all very high level games today.
Alright, would like to take a second to go ahead and thank Daunted for subscribing with a tier 1 sub to our channel. Appreciate the support. And looks like we have around about 20 viewers so far in the channel, so thank you all for tuning in so far. Yeah,
you've come to the place, you've come for some great matches, and we're going to be providing them, that's for sure. Already a strong easy to start things off, but a very clean one from Epic indeed.
Yeah, now PSISTM Gaming is very formidable opponent because last season they actually placed runner-up, placed second. So they were almost they lost I think 2 to 3. So they were like 1 game away from winning the whole thing. And,
wow, who won?
I don't remember. Not in the top of my mind, but I do remember that PSISTM Gaming did come in second place. So I mean, they have a really great lineup, and we saw that in the first game. Really strong play by Epic here, and we'll see if Australia can pull it back and tie this series up 1-1.
Yeah, now we're just going to be waiting on game number 2 to start.
Yeah, so currently in our group, PSISTM Gaming is also 3-0 in their first week.
I haven't received an invite, by the way.
Oh, let me go ahead and invite you here. And then also AlphaX is also 3-0 in their first week, so undefeated both teams. Of course, PSISTM just got this first game here, so I guess we're not undefeated yet anymore.
So, while we are waiting on this, let's take a look at Raze and Warren's statistics. Australia and Raze's statistics lately. Remember, it's also worth noting Australia recently actually beat Parting 5-4 in a best of 9 series.
All right, I remember that.
Yeah, we were casting it.
Yeah. It was
so he's clearly pretty good at PvP, even though Parting was playing with a delay. Australia's PvP is his best matchup with a 66% win rate this season. 58-29, so he's clearly doing very well. Yeah. Meanwhile, Raze, also at 6100 MMR, so both players above 6k MMR, has a 50% win rate against Protoss, which actually makes it his worst matchup by far, since he has a 61% win rate overall, including a 74% win rate against Terran.
Wow. I wish I had that
113
win
wins
rate.
and 39 losses. I would love to see how he plays that matchup. Wow. And that's against some very strong opponents,
yeah,
too.
that's impressive.
That means there wouldn't be a Terran in North America who has a winning record against him. Epic's probably Epic Future. They're probably the best, two of the best Terrans. I guess unless you count Special, I don't know how much he ladders on North America. But in the meantime, we have a game going on in the upper left, representing PSISTM Gaming. One matchup looking to be the second one. It is the purple Protoss. It is Raze.
And spawning at the top right, we have the pink Protoss representing AlphaX. It is Australia.
So, we've seen a lot of Australia's PvP because we casted that best of 9 with him against Parting. It's clearly his best matchup. He's clearly doing very well, and he does have the edge in this match on paper. Despite both having the same MMR, it's Australia's best matchup and Raze's worst one. What do you think we're going to see out of these players on Stasis, Snoopy?
You know what? I remember when we were casting Parting versus Australia that Parting actually went for the proxy Stargate at the Watchtower. I don't think Raze is going to go for that, but I mean...
You think Australia might?
Yeah, Australia might. I mean,
he is Parting's student.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Australia is only making one gateway. He's not making a second one at all. He's just going straight through a cybernetics core. What could this mean? I have no idea. Could he be trying to do a fast expand? Or is he going to go into a very fast Stargate?
You know, the Stargate idea might actually come true at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he hasn't sent out any proxies or anything. I think he's just going to go for... I think he's going to go for a very fast Stargate, but it's not going to be a proxied one. Australia's playing with fire here. One gateway in PvP is extremely dangerous.
Yeah, if Raze went for double Stalker, yeah, he's actually going Stalker and Sentry. But if he went for like 4 Stalker opening, that could have been very scary for Australia.
Yeah, I think I would have gone for 4 Stalker opening if I'd seen that. But Raze clearly knows something that we don't. Australia also hiding this probe in the natural of Raze to try and keep this a bit hidden. And we still don't see the tech. We still don't see what Australia wants to do. I think Australia does want to expand, and Raze is delaying him for a long time. Or at least he wants to kill this probe before he reveals his tech. This is just such a weird game to start off. He's going Stalker Sentry, but it's off 1 gateway instead of 2, and he's going to go for a Robo right now.
Oh.
And he was going to put it further away, but I think he put it closer to the wall to prevent that pylon scouting what it could be. But Raze is actually going to get his expansion up faster than Australia, despite opening with a 2-gate opening instead of 1. Though his tech will be delayed. And I wonder if Raze is going to go for any sort of attack. He has made 2 sentries, so he probably doesn't want to go for an early attack. And that probe from Australia will get spotted. So Australia does not know if Raze is expanding or not. Until he sends his own Phoenix, which he will do just now. Both sides sending their Phoenixes at about the same time to see what the opponent is up to. As we see 2 more gates coming up from Australia to make up for the lack of his extra gateway units, but it looks like he's going to get away with it, and he has a 4 probe advantage. But now, Raze is moving across the map with 3 Stalkers and 3 Sentries to try and see what he can get done. There's a couple of pylons in this wall, but if they both get sniped, that could be very bad.
Oh.
If this Immortal gets out for Australia, though, he should be okay.
You even see some hallucinated Stalker there in Raze's army here, so nice play.
Oh, very nice. I really like that. He makes it look like this army is so much scarier than it is.
Oh, actually does not get the force field.
No, but I think... Oh, there we go. Oh my god, beautiful force fields from Raze, though. 2 of those sentries will get sniped out, but the Immortal gets out just in time. And I think that Australia is going to be okay. He took a gamble, but it paid off. He will lose a pylon, but he's okay because he has 2. No Artosis pylons here.
Yeah, so I think that was a pretty good trade for Raze. He lost 2 hallucinated Stalkers and 1 I think one stalker against
Yeah, he
Australia's
lost a
2
stalker and a
sentries.
sentry, but I think he killed a sentry. So yeah, it's a good trade, but not and a pylon, but not an amazing trade. It was a very slightly good trade for Reyes. But here's the thing: Australia now has the faster tech. He's going into Robo Bay. He's getting a Warp Prism. He has much faster tech than his opponent. So I think overall it paid off for Australia, and Australia has a slight lead. Oh, and here comes a couple of Adepts to try and get in here. Good moves. He's going to snipe quite a few probes here. Good warp in from Australia to block it off, but he's still going to lose probably 4 or 5 probes to this. Well, only loses 3. Very well done by Australia, but still 3 probes for 2 Adepts. Kind of okay. Did he see the Robo Bay? Yes, he did. He saw it building. And Forge coming up for Australia. I don't believe we have one for Raze just yet. I think Raze is going for another attack though. He's building more gateways. He's not building a Forge. I think he wants to get some aggression done. But then the Twilight Council does come up. So this has just delayed his Forge by just a little bit. And Colossus is the choice from Australia.
Wow. PvP Colossus. Now, you don't see that every day.
No, you do not. You don't even see that every week. I was so sure this was going to be Disruptors. But then again, Colossi do best in choke points, right? Where you can't get flanked, and Stasis is probably the least flankable map in the pool. But Raze is going for a very fast, very aggressive attack right now. We will have one Colossus out for Australia just in time. Oh, and oh my god, amazing force fields block off a ton of this army. With no Warp Prism in the area, Australia cannot really do much against this, but the Colossus is now out. He does have the Warp Prism here now. But Raze has just so many forces, and he has these Immortals which do damage to Colossi so quickly. I think Australia's in serious trouble. 4 more Stalkers warping in. Probes are being pulled off the line. The Colossus continuing to do its damage from the back. Stalkers being warped in slowly. The Warp Prism actually has to turn itself on in order to make them go faster. But the Warp Prism is very close to dying from Raze. He's forced to retreat. But he's down to 24 workers. Is Australia, and I think he's going to hold this. But at what cost? He has no units to fend this off any further. And he has half the probes of Raze. Raze just needs to keep attacking over and over again, and eventually this will work. Stalkers will go down, but there's just not enough now for Australia. But Australia needs to go for a counterattack, and needs to go for it now. +1 weapons and extended thermal lance are going to finish in time. So Australia has this Warp Prism, he has the 2 Colossi. He has to make miracles happen with these 2 Colossi, or he will lose this game.
Yeah, he is down 46 to 31 workers, so I mean, this is pretty much
Going
it.
for a Colossus drop, Snoopy.
Oh my god.
To get damage done. And he's getting it done too. 3 probes go down already. And he's continuing to do this against a robo. This forces more and more Stalkers to come out.
Oh, but he's gotta be careful.
Blink is the follow-up for Raze, and Australia moves out of the Colossi saying, okay, if you're making all these Stalkers, I'm going to make Immortals. Good move. Continuing to get some damage done, and he's actually trying to recover in the worker count. He's only down 4 workers now.
Wow. Yeah, that's...
How does he do it?
And he's got the +1 attack, so he might not be in a bad position. Oh, but he's going to lose a Colossus.
Ooh, that's not good. But at least he keeps the Warp Prism alive. And the Colossi, this Blink Stalker-based army, if Australia can get enough Immortals up, he could survive this. But he needs them desperately. He's bringing back that Warp Prism. He's going to have, I think, 2 Immortals for this fight. Raze is now getting a Dark Shrine. The reason Australia's caught up in worker count is because Raze is not interested in this game going long. But somehow they have almost identical army supplies.
Yeah, but Australia had to be careful. I mean, Raze does have to blink, so he could blink on top of the Colossus. He needs to retreat now.
Yeah, that's true. And he needs this 2nd Immortal, which he is getting, as well as +1 armor. The Immortals get dropped for Raze on top of the Colossus, killing the Colossi and making more and more Stalkers. The Warp Prism goes down, though, before the Warp-In finishes. Oh my god, that could have been the move that just saved him. The Warp Prism does finally go down, though. More probes being pulled off the line. And the Immortal is still on the way. But oh my god, Australia is going to hold again.
Oh, I don't know. There's still 3 Stalkers and 1 Immortal.
The Warp Prism, the Immortal's out, and this Immortal is one shot away from dying.
Oh,
There
he
it goes.
dies.
It's down. Australia survives. What are we seeing? More and more Stalkers coming in, but this Immortal is now up. A Blink comes in to get the high ground, but the shield battery is here. A shield battery and an Immortal. Stalkers can't kill that, and they get killed by another force field. Oh my god, what have we seen? Australia is still alive.
So
The Dark
back and
Shrine is
forth.
done for Raze, though. How many? Oh my god, Australia has no observers.
Oh no.
He's building one now, though.
Wow.
He's building one now.
Okay, so he's building it just in time.
Yeah, that game. 4 DTs in the warp prism for Raze. He's going to threaten the front and then drop into the natural at the same time. But there is an observer that is going to be finished just in time for Australia. Oh, the warp prism is actually going towards the main to drop DTs. I think it's going to split. Yeah, it's going to drop some in the main, some in the natural. This could do tremendous economic damage to Australia. But why would Australia care? He lost 20 probes earlier in this game and you wouldn't even know it. But the same thing is happening again now. And this time it's only a DT being lost. Oh, this pylon is very critical. It's going to go down, taking away a couple of the gateways with it. And suddenly Australia is again in a very bad position as the Stalkers attack the main. There will be an Immortal done in order to fend this off, though.
Oh man.
And Raze is taking the gold base. Good move. He knows that Australia can't do anything. He's got Blink Stalkers and DTs. How is Australia ever going to move out against him? How's he even going to take a third base? It's going to be extremely difficult, so he's just taking the gold, and he knows he's not going to get punished for it.
Yeah, he knows that he doesn't have Blink yet, so...
Oh, and the Robo goes down.
Oh, things are just getting worse and worse for Australia. Oh, but there is...
Yeah, I can't believe he's survived this long, but he's still here. What were you saying, Snoopy?
There was a 2 Adept attack from Australia into the natural, but it was pretty much cleaned up by Raze pretty easily, so not much damage.
So really the one thing he has going for him is this 3 Immortal count. If he could take a straight fight against Raze, he wins. But it's going to be very difficult for him to take that straight fight with these DTs and Blink Stalkers wandering around. So Australia needs to find a way to get damage done. I mean, to get damage done on the other side of the map. Blink is finishing for Australia as a counter Blink to the Blink of Raze to get some more mobility on. But these DTs are coming in and they force Australia back yet again. Australia cannot move out. But if he can snipe this Warp Prism with this surprise Blink, he might be able to do it. Oh, but he's actually made a bit of a mistake with his Stalker control. Some of his Stalkers got caught up on that ramp. He could have actually sniped that Warp Prism, and then that might... Oh, he got it! He got the Warp Prism!
He got it! He can move out now!
And that's 3 DTs that were in that prism. There's 3 Immortals here. 3 Sentries for Guardian Shield. They're just gonna blink right on top of the Immortals. Is this gonna be enough though? Actually, I think Australia might have overextended his welcome. He took out all of these Immortals, and GG from Australia, and Raze just had too much, and he will win this game number 2. What a match! What a game!
Yeah, so back and forth, and I mean, you know, usually people don't like PvP, but that was just a great PvP.
I love PvP, and games like this are the reason why. Australia had to make 80 workers on 2 bases.
Oh man.
Raze just doing really well. Both players doing extremely well. I can't believe Australia survived for as long as he did.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean...
But now, PSISTM Gaming is up 2-0. They are on match point for this.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to have Paco Mike bring it back here. At least start to come back.
We'll have at least 1 PVZ. We may have 2, depending on if Paco Mike is able to take this next game.
And it will be on Parasite,
which is a pretty good map for Protoss in the PVZ matchup, I feel. Though maybe less so now that the end game is not as dominant for Protoss since the patch that has nerfed the carriers. There's not really a ton of consensus over whether this change makes Protoss too weak in the late game or not, but it certainly made them weaker. That much we could tell for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you everyone who is watching the stream right now. I'm sure you are not disappointed in the matches we've had today.
Also, thank you to the followers during that game. There was a couple of followers. So, yeah, thank you to you guys. I appreciate the support.
So Warren's ZVP is at 60%, but that's actually a pretty ordinary matchup for him because he has a 59% win rate on the ladder all in all. So it doesn't seem like he's particularly bad or particularly good at this matchup compared to the rest of his play. We seem to be waiting on Parker Mike, so I'm going to take the opportunity to be back in about 2 minutes.
All right, guys. Let's see what's happening in the chat. Oh, Baxter says, "Try again. Won last season of ATL NA Pro." Thank you for the information. PSISTM was second, and All In was third. All right. Hopefully, this season, AlphaX is gonna be able to at least get to the top 2. Last season we finished the regular season 7-1, first in our group, and unfortunately we lost in the quarterfinals against Black Knight. So it was a pretty disappointing loss because, you know, we finished first in our group. We were hoping to get further, but hopefully this season we'll do much better. Xenodactyl says, "Wow, Australia loves this map." Australia's on the verge of breaking Sal. Yeah. Kuna Matata says, "Hey, are you guys hosting someone after this concludes? I'm thinking of streaming." Yeah, we'll go ahead and host you, Kuna Matata, after this game or after this series is concluded. Sniper CCA or SCCA says, "Come on, boys, reverse sweep, please." Yeah, hopefully AlphaX can reverse sweep here. It's gonna be tough because, again, PSISTM Gaming is just a really tough opponent. They're just really have a lot of good players, a lot of strong players.
And I am back.
All right, welcome back, just in time as the game just started.
Yep. Okay, Paco Mike versus Warren for all the marbles. Or at least to continue playing the game of marbles. PSISTM is up 2-0. If Warren wins this, they will have won their match. In the upper left, on match point, representing PSISTM Gaming, looking to continue the trend. Can he do it? It is the Zerg. It is Warren.
And spawning at the bottom right, we have our red Protoss looking to reverse sweep here, or at least start the reverse sweep. It is from AlphaX. It is Paco Mike.
I wonder if Warren is the name of Warren, or if it's based on the Roach Warren.
You know, every time I see the name Warren, I'm just reminded of Warren Buffett for some reason.
Well, he is probably the most famous Warren.
Yeah, that's true.
Could be named for that as well. Hatch first from Warren. Now you got me thinking about it. Thanks for that. And looks like an ordinary opening from Parker Mike as well. So, looks like we are going to see a little bit before this action really starts in this matchup. Hatch, gas, and pull from Warren. So, do you know anything about Parker Mike's tendencies in PvZ?
You know, I haven't really seen much of his games, unfortunately. I know he's one of our stronger players, but I haven't seen him a lot in a lot of events, or at least I didn't cast many of them.
No, I think I've seen a couple of his games, but I don't think I've casted much of him either. He seems to be pretty good defensively, Parker Mike. But then, any PvZ player at high levels has to be good defensively. I mean, Zerg own the mid game. Their job is to attack, and the Protoss' job is to defend until they can get those key tech units out, a ton of Immortals, Storm, things like that. Then they can start to strike back, except under rare circumstances. For instance, if they fend off a Roach attack really well, then they can counterattack. But in the mid game, usually it is the Zerg attacking and it is the Protoss defending.
Yeah, and then as soon as the mid to late game, I think Protoss wants to get the War Prism or maybe even some proxy pylons. They can go ahead and, you know, be the one harassing the Zerg instead with some run bys, Zealot, Charge Light run bys, or War Prism drops.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you can do that in the mid game as well. You just can't commit too heavily to it,
Mm-hmm.
lest you be in serious trouble at the front, especially if the Zerg splits up their army and attacks in two places at once, something which is getting more and more common. I remember about a year ago when I think it was Zest faced I can't remember who it was who did it to him, but Zest faced this three-pronged attack, like a drop, an attack at the third, an attack at the fourth, and he just fell apart. And I was thinking, how does anyone stop this? And that was like a year and a half ago at this point. And now it's just like, oh, he's attacking in three places at once. Looks like a standard professional PvZ to me. The players just get so good. The Adept will scout everything that's needed, but actually keeps all of the drones alive, does Warren. Very well done. At least Paco Mike knows there's not going to be any unwelcome surprises, as he is going to go for that Oracle quickly. Jeterix is a proponent of that, because he says that you can often catch the Zerg off guard with an Oracle first instead of Phoenix first, and they don't have spores. But we will have a spore in the main base, and I think we're going to have 2 queens at the natural by the time the Oracle gets there, but no spore. Potentially even 3, because one of these creep queens is likely to stay pretty close, so I guess Warren thinks he doesn't need a spore at the natural, and we'll see if he's right as this Oracle moves across the map, and we see a Phoenix next.
Alright, so looks like the Oracle will be heading into, looks like the third.
Yeah, but he's just getting some lava. And he's going to go for the natural, but there's already going to be queens in position, so this isn't going to get a ton of damage done. Actually, the queens are not in position, so 3 drones down, I think. Just now.
Just barely just gets out alive here.
Yep, kills 3 workers and gets out alive. That's a very good first Oracle. 1 is fine, 2 is good. Anything above that is gravy. As Parker Mike looks like he's going to take a third of his own to keep up with the Zerg's economy.
Alright, so...
a single Evo coming up from Warren, so it looks like we're probably going to see +1 Lings as the tech of choice from Warren. These is probably becoming more popular these days because of the rise of that double Stargate opener.
Mm-hmm. And I like this decision because Lings are so good in maneuvering around this map. This map is huge, and there's a lot of pathways for the Lings to run here and there, attack the third base, or even run into the natural, maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely a good choice to go for speedlings here.
So we're seeing a slightly unusual choice from Parker Mike. He's going for, instead of the standard double robo at this stage of the game, we're seeing a fast forge and only a single robo. And now we're seeing a robo bay, actually, so I think that Parker Mike might want to go and do Colossi.
What do you think about PvZ going Colossus? I know Colossus is they're doing extra damage against the light units, but against so I guess when he scouted the Lings, the mass Lings, and I guess he's going for Banelings as well. Do you think Colossus would be the better choice instead of maybe the Mordo Charizard Archon composition?
I think Colossi are a very good choice against the Hydraling Bane type of style, but they're worse at pretty much everything else. Maybe Swarm Host they do alright. I don't really know about Colossi versus Swarm Host, but for instance, against a Roach-based composition, against Mutalisks, against all those weird techs that Zerg can do in the mid-game, I don't like Colossi. But in this case, that's not what Warren is going for, and considering these guys, the level these guys are at, they probably play each other on the ladder all the time, so Parker Mike is probably taking a calculated risk here. He knows what Warren likes to play, and he's countering it accordingly. Is he getting Blink instead of Charge? That indicates to me, I think he might want to go for a timing attack on 3 bases.
Yeah, I think the Colossus, Mass Sentries, and Blink Stalkers, I think that's what he's going to go for. And it's going to be pretty good against what Warren has, as he's going for Hydralisk, Lings, and Banelings.
Yeah, definitely. The Banelings do a lot of damage against those Charge Ults and such, but a lot less against Stalkers, especially when they can just blink away. So I think we might see 2 or 3 Colossi with ranged and +2 into a big timing attack to try and stop the Zerg before they get up to that Hive Tech. And we'll have to see how that goes. I have not seen this in a very long time, but sometimes the classics are classics for a reason. Meanwhile, an Adept's trying to get a little bit done. We'll get a couple of drones from Parker Mike, keeping the Zerg busy. Warren is choosing Lurkers as the next tech of choice, which is decent. I think Colossi are slightly worse against Lurkers than the Immortals, but They're not that much worse. They're not completely terrible. So we'll have to see what happens from this. Pakamak does look like he wanted to take a 4th base. I'm not sure if it's a legitimate 4th base or if he's just trying to fake out the Zerg. He also has a lot of gas, so I imagine it's gonna, yeah, there he goes, the Templar Archives, just as I was saying. But these Colossi are gonna fall off as the game goes on, so I think he is gonna want to get some damage done with these Colossi as he takes this 4th base, before Lurkers and before Hive are really up. But it looks like he just wants to play defensively. This is a very interesting composition, and I'm not really sure what I think of it. Colossus and Blinkstalkers.
Yeah.
I mean, Pakamak's a lot better than me, so I don't want to say, this is wrong. But what I am gonna say is I don't see the advantage in this. I'll be looking at this game, and hopefully Pakamak shows us just why it's so good. He's getting +3 in charge, more Colossi. Perhaps he's hitting a pre-Broodlord timing attack. He's just gonna hit a later timing attack, get Storm, get pretty much everything on the ground.
Well, the
fact that he's getting these Archons instead of Storm means that he's gonna go.
Oh yeah, he's going. Yeah, War Prism is there. He's moving out, and it's just a nice timing because the Hive is just before the Hive is done. So there's no Greater Spire or Ultralis
or fast lurker burrows, but there will be a few lurkers here. I guess maybe the Colossus-based, the Stalker-based army is designed to be a little more resilient against lurkers and actually Mutalisk. Remember, I said that a surprise Mutaswitch just killed Colossus builds. If you have all these Blinkstalkers, that's not such a big deal anymore. Pakamak going around clearing up some creep. Don't know if he's trying to do a timing attack or just trying to clear up creep and threaten the Zerg. We'll have to find out in about 20 or 30 seconds. But maybe he thinks, alright, Warren's pretty well sewn up. Would like to see him scout this. Well, I guess Warren's taking a 6th base extremely quickly, so I understand why Pakamak isn't scouting that location. Doesn't expect it to be there. But Aspire is on the way for Warren now. As he's getting Adrenal Glands, he's getting the Hive Lurker Tech upgrade. He's starting to really use that Hive Tech to his advantage, and Pakamak's push hasn't really gotten a ton done yet, as Warren moves forward with his Lurkers and repositions.
Oh man, Warren
Ling's attacking both sides actually, attacking the 3rd base and attacking the natural, but none of this is going to get anything done. Pakamak is really sewn up tight. I did mention he was a pretty good defensive player, and you can see that right now. He's got these cannons, he's got the stasis wards, he's got units everywhere, which is also probably why this timing attack isn't really going to work out. As Pakamak goes in for a fleet beacon, it looks like he does just want to threaten the Zerg and keep him back, but with 6 bases for Warren, I don't think he's really succeeded in that goal. Warren is not going to try and really attack this army, just trying to keep fending it off. He's got lurkers on both sides of it, so there's no real way that... It looks like he's going for a flank, actually, with these lurkers! Oh my god, this could be brutal! But there is an observer here. He does sort of isolate his own lurkers, but I still think a decent trade for Warren overall, because if he tried to do this to Immortals, he would just die. But against Colossi, he can afford to do this, and the Colossi need to back away. Now that the Hive Tech is done and the Adaptive Talents is done, these Lurkers can really get on top of the Colossus-based army, which doesn't have the Immortals to stop it. The Pakamak is getting a Mothership, he's getting a Carrier, he's getting more Stargates, and he's going into shield upgrades. So he's gonna play for the late game. He's not afraid of the weakened Carrier. He thinks it's still just fine as the Greater Spire starts for Warren.
Yeah, we're heading into the really late game here, as both players are preparing for the really higher tech units to add into their army composition.
This Colossus Blinkstalker army sort of sharking as the Greater Spire starts kind of reminds me of Wings of Liberty, except in this case, Broodlord Infestor doesn't just win the game in 2 minutes. So at some point, I was not watching, but the 6th base for Warren did get taken out, and Warren is double expanding to the left in response.
Yeah, there was actually a War Prism that was there and morphed in a bunch of Charge Lot.
Meanwhile, Pakamak taking a 5th, but I think this is not going to finish because a ton of Cracklings are going to be just sniping this completely dead. Cracklings kill buildings so quickly. But Pakamak is attacking at a position where the Lurkers are not, but they show up just in time to defend. And Pakamak is going to be forced to retreat once again. Just delaying this Broodlord transition, forcing more Lurkers, doing a good job of that. And he's attacking the 3rd base with a ton of Charlots actually, and getting a lot of damage done to the economy of Warren. he's doing really well with these child blocks, just buying time, and suddenly Parker Mike's up in supply. As Warren makes those corruptors, forced to make more drones. Oh, I don't know about this attack though. The storms are going down on the lurkers, but Parker Mike's going to lose a lot for that.
Yeah,
But I guess he wants to start trading away his stalkers and his ground army anyways. Three carriers are on the way.
Oh, these charts are just
Lurkers coming forward.
Oh, so much action around the map.
Yeah, the 7th base for Warren. Yep, the 7th base. Will get taken out by these child blocks as Warren just continues to try and expand across the map, but isn't really defending them too well.
Yeah, like I said earlier in the game, this map, once it gets to the late game, Protoss can harass here and there rather easily. Oh, even more charged up into the top, going into
coming into the 4th base, and the lurkers are gone now. This warp isn't doing serious damage, and the whole army retreats, and that means that these charge blocks can head to the 6th base and try and kill that too.
Oh, but I think he's just barely going to save it.
Yeah, I think he will save it, that's right. But now the rest of the army is here. The mothership is done. There are some carriers here. There's a ton of colossi. How's this going to go? He will save this 6th base, but now that means Parker Mike's army gets into position. But there's a lot of corruptors here, and this mothership, the carriers, the colossi, they're all vulnerable to the corruptor-based force as the 6th base does go down. And here come the corruptors. Storm's going down, but they're kind of good. The Blink Stalker's doing their best. The mothership survives, and all these carriers go down. Beautiful moves by Parker Mike. Warren just not quite getting there, and suddenly Parker Mike is in an excellent position. He's getting a Dark Shrine, he's getting +2 shields, he's getting more Archons, and they could actually attack these Corruptors. And Warren's army is trapped. It needs to retreat, and it's going to lose so much as it does so. Meanwhile, Charge Lots and Cannons defend the 5th base for Parker Mike against the Cracklings.
Oh, such great defense by Parker Mike.
Even a couple of Tempests coming up now to try and force the issue and force Warren to engage into him, because we saw what happened the last time that Warren had to do that. It didn't go well for him. Oh man, Parker Mike's playing this really well. He's showing he doesn't care about the new patch at all. He's getting a lot of storms, he's getting more and more carriers up, +2 weapons for air on the way, +2 shields nearly done, and a couple of Tempests.
And I love
as
how
more Charge Lots take up this 7th base. What were you saying that you
Oh, you were I was just about to say I love how Parker Mike's still keeping up the pressure with these charge lot small forces.
Oh yeah, Warren needs a 6th base. He needs it very badly. He's getting a couple of Broodlords, but that's not going to help too much against the carriers and all these Blink Stalkers as well. And now he's attacking the 5th base. There is a counter-attack from Warren though, so we'll see how that goes. Warren counter-attacks with a bunch of Hydralisks. Forced to retreat after he retreats after taking out the 5th base. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we have these cannons and shield batteries buying so much time, but they're not going to be enough. Parker Mike is retreating backwards. Our probes are actually being pulled off the line here, which is not what you want to see against Hydralisks at all. And Parker Mike will lose quite a few units and such here, but he is coming back and he will take out all these Hydralisks. In the meantime, it's going to be 4 bases. As the 4th base for Warren goes down, Parker Mike is just a base sniping machine. Meanwhile, he has so many cannons. He's got like 5 cannons at each of his bases, except for the one that just got attacked. And he's just not letting Warren get back into this game.
Yeah, you might be right that Parker Mike might actually know Warren's playstyle, knows that he loves Link run-bys. So all these cannons and shield batteries has done wonders for him throughout this whole game here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One thing I really need to do is make more static defense in PvZ. I see the top players like this do that all the time, and I always forget to do it myself, and then I die to things.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can't get picked apart if you have like 10 cannons on your left flank.
Oh man.
Yeah, and this army is attacking once again. There's a lot of spines and spores and lurkers here. The Parker Mike's just going to keep pushing through. He's got his High Templar far away to avoid them getting fungal or hit by the infestors. And he doesn't even need this force. I think Warren is on his deathbed here.
Yeah, his
the drones burrow away and another base goes down, and Warren's going to try and fight. Oh, good snipe on the Oracle, but good revelation. He's going to be relying heavily on these Corruptors, but with these Tempests, Parker Mike can force the issue.
All these
and
infestors.
Here comes the feedbacks.
Oh no.
And I think with that, Warren is likely to lose this game pretty quickly. The Tempests are taking out these Broodlords, and Warren just leaves the game right then and there. And Parker Mike brings AlphaX back from the brink of defeat.
All right.
It's now 2-1 to PSISTM.
Hope is still
Storm
alive.
game. Hino is going to face a very tremendous challenge in Disc, however. We're going to
Yeah.
see another PVZ, but this one is probably on paper the most lopsided match we have. And it's in PSISTM Gaming's favor. So PSISTM Gaming looking quite good, but we'll see if Hino can make a miracle happen.
Yep, and that will be taking place on Kairos Junction. So that should be pretty good because Kairos Junction is one of the, I think, one of the more popular favorite maps amongst the players.
Yeah, Kairos and Port seem to be the maps of choice lately. They are the most standard ones.
Also Cerulean, I think. Cerulean Fall.
Yeah, but Cerulean Fall, I think it's more because it's old. And people of us familiar with it. Port and Kairos are new, but the players sort of took to them straight away.
Yeah.
You don't really have those maps vetoed very often, because they're pretty balanced for all sides. So our final, potentially our final match. If not, we will be going to the ace match. Will be Hino versus Disc, a ZVP on Kairos. What will the? Let's see what the ace match map will be.
It'll be Cerulean Fall.
All right. So here's the question: who do you think the sides are going to send in as their ace if it comes to that?
I feel like for AlphaX, it might be between Australia and Paco Mike. And then PSISTM Gaming, I feel like maybe Disc or possibly Raze.
I'm thinking that it's probably going to be Australia versus Epic for the ace match. Here's my reasoning. I think that Australia is a good ace choice for AlphaX. I think he's probably the highest level player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And Raze did beat him, and Disc is very good, but Australia's PvP is pretty monstrous. I think they would predict the Australia pick and send out Epic to face him, and I think that would be a pretty good match.
Yeah, I think so too. But we just need... That's only if we get to the ace match. We need AlphaX. Right. We need Hino to pull one out here.
Yeah. Disc another 6k player. Hino at about 5700, so it's not like impossible by any means. And Disc's PV, here's an interesting statistic for you. Disc's PVZ is sitting at 60% right now, which makes it his worst matchup.
To have your worst matchup at 60%.
Yeah, top GM problems. His PVT is 75%, so these Protoxes are just brutalizing the Terrans at the top of the ladder. I wouldn't want to be Epic right now playing TVPs when, Disc and who else was it with the monstrous PVT? I think it was Raze, actually. But Disc and Raze are both so good. I mean, I guess Epic gets a lot of practice against top-level Protoxes, considering two of his teammates are such Terran killers. But it might also be at that level. There's no real top Terrans in North America. Wait, yeah, of course there is Special. So you got Special, Scarlet, and Neeb, sort of one of each race. So that shouldn't affect it too much. Though I think Scarlet plays most in Korea, and I think is Neeb in Korea? I can't remember.
I think maybe
was. Anyway,
don't recall.
In the top left, looking to close the series out. Representing PSISTM Gaming, it is the blue Protoss, it is Disc.
And spawning at the bottom right, we have our red Zerg player from AlphaX looking to send it to the ace match. It is Hino.
So, if you're Hino, what would you want to do in a situation like this?
Well, I guess on paper you would say Disc is the favored player here. So maybe, you could try and pull up some shenanigans, but I think Hino is confident enough in his own play to just go ahead and just play out in a standard game here, I feel.
We'll have to see if that's what Hino decides to do. I think is that Hatchery in the right position? I think it is.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah. So Hino manages to deny the hatchery denial, doing that quite well. And he's going to go for the standard hatch gas pool. Well, meanwhile, Disc looks like he's going to just take that Nexus. And we are going to see a couple of minutes before we really see what tech both these players do want to commit to. An all-in could certainly happen from either side from this position, but it would take a little bit. We'll just have to see what both sides want to do. Really, that first divergence point is when the spawning pool finishes, and then after the core finishes is the divergence point for Protoss.
Yep.
So will Hino take that third base? Will Disc go Stargate? Those are the questions.
Well, we should see. I have a good indicator as soon as he does mine the 100 gas from that simulator. I do like how this is still keeping his probe around, trying to get additional scouting and even some additional harass possibly. But we're closing in.
He isn't going to go for it. He's not going to go for a fast ball. You stop at 19 drones for that, he's on 20.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, that's fine. So
what were you saying?
So it looks like we're gonna have a Stargate opening from this. Unfortunately for him, Hino does have an Overlord here. We'll be able to scout that out.
Yeah, so far it looks like quite a standard game from both players. Hino hasn't taken the third yet, but I imagine he will pretty shortly. He's making more drones. He's sending that drone over there now, guarding it with the Lings in case the Adept gets there a little faster than he expected, but it's not gonna. Hino's gonna get that third base up without any trouble. And we are gonna see probably a more standard game, as you mentioned. You can still use the Stargate to go into some sort of aggressive build on two bases, but it's fairly rare that this happens. Likely we are going to see just a regular opening where the Protoss tries to get a little bit of damage done, the Zerg tries to defend, and then we see what happens in the mid-game. Phoenix first, coming out of Disc, so he's either playing... He's definitely trying to deny scouting, so that could mean that he might be doing something, but getting the second gateway and such, not a Robo or a Twilight or anything, means that it's likely going to be pretty standard from here. So, what kind of mid-game do you think that Hino might want to do?
Well,
on a map like this?
Well, there's a possibility that this is going to go ahead and add a second Stargate, maybe. I feel like that's... Oh wait, actually no, never mind. He's going to actually add a Robo. So I think... Does Hino able to scout that? No, not yet. So we'll see if he can scout that, maybe get some roaches in time to defend against that, as there is a Twilight.
I did like your thinking about it, because Double Stargate seems pretty good on this map. It is a pretty big map. There's a fair few openings you could go for.
Yeah, well, this one for the third and the fourth gas, so I was like expecting maybe that's a possibility, but instead I think he's just gonna go ahead and go for a Warp Prism and maybe some Archon drops or something.
Yeah, I think it's an Archon drop with that Robo Twilight at that timing. I'd be pretty surprised if it was anything else. Meanwhile, Oracle does try and get some damage done. We'll get two probes. Spore just a tiny bit late. Hino trying to cut a couple of corners. But two drones is not that terrible for Hino. It's a pretty even trade, I would say. Getting that first Oracle usually gets one or two. And we do have those third and fourth gates coming up, as well as the Templar Archives. We'll have to see if Disc wants to go for any more gates, but I don't think he will. He's getting charged. So I think he's going to make like 2 Archons, 4 charge lots or so, and try and get a bit of damage done. But Hino's Roach Warren is actually pretty late. So this could get some damage done if Hino isn't right on the ball. These 3 Overlords are producing to stop him from being supply blocked. And he's doing a bit of a counterattack here, actually. Trying to get in, but the wall is closed up tight. These 2 Zerglings might be able to... Oh no, there is an Oracle at that third base, so those Zerglings wouldn't really be able to get it down, unless the Oracle were to leave. Or we do see 6 Roaches coming out and double Evo for Hino. So double Evo means he... I think he... Doesn't double Evo, I think that means he probably wants to go for Roach Hydra, right?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, right now he just needs to worry about this Archon drop that's coming. His Lings are across the map. He needs to retreat them right now, as he just spotted it. He's retreating his Roaches. Yeah,
he's only got 6 Roaches though, which aren't great at killing those Archons, especially not quickly. The Queen, is that going to go down? Ooh, yeah, just. But he's forced to withdraw one of the Archons at very low shields, and I don't think he lost any drones, so that's pretty good. Hydralisk Den, it does go down, and he's going to get +1/+1 as soon as he can, I imagine. As Roach speed comes up, Overlord speed nearly done, +1 ranged on the way. So Roach Hydra are going to be the tech of choice for Hino, which means he's going to need to be aggressive, get some damage done in multiple places. Roach Hydra Lurker is the kind of... It's a very splittable army, especially Roach Hydra. Because you've got units that are pretty much strong, all you need is a few Roaches, a few Hydras, whereas the Protoss army is a bit more fragile, it needs a lot of its units together. And I'd like to see Hino attack in multiple places at once, and he's taking that 4th base to continue to grow and challenge Disc in the mid-game. As Disc is actually going for Colossi.
Oh, wow. You would expect you would expect he would go for like maybe Disruptors. I think Disruptor would do a better job against the Roach and Hydra composition.
Yeah, but I don't know if Hino knows what the composition is yet. I don't think he only saw one Evo chamber.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
So he probably doesn't know yet. But he, if he didn't know before, he knows now. But he doesn't know if the commitment to Roaches is going to continue or not. That's the thing. He knows that there's some Roaches and some Hydras, but he doesn't know if this is going to what this is going to transition into. So Colossi, I think, are kind of okay against Roach Hydra. They're not fantastic because the Roaches can get on top of them, but especially if he goes for like 2 or 3 Colossi into Immortals, and I think that's what he's going to do because he's getting double Robo.
Yeah.
He either has to have a lot of Immortals to support the Colossi, or just a lot of Colossi.
Yeah, I think if he gets into the right position, he can get a few sentries here and there with the Colossus in the back. You can force field and do really good damage. It will be up to Hino to get a good, concave or a good flank here in order to defend.
Yeah, but in the meantime, from Hino we have 7 Dropper Lords that have just finished making. He's going to go for a very big drop against that main base. There is one Phoenix that is patrolling to see this coming, but one Phoenix is not going to be able to stop those Overlords. Meanwhile, we do have some Charge Lots attacking the Natural as the War Prism attacks the main, but the War Prism goes down. What was in that? Was that the Archons?
Yeah, the 2 Archons.
Oh man, that's actually really bad for Disc. It's not as bad as it could have been a couple of minutes ago, but at the same time, Disc did not get as much damage done with that as he wanted. Suddenly this drop might do some serious damage as Hino is looking to hit a very strong mid-game timing as this Hydra speed finishes.
Yeah, he knows the War Prism is gone, so he knows that there is no more harassment. He can send his whole army into the 4th of the base while dropping the main base.
Oh, but this Oracle!
Wow, what a scout! Oh, but was he paying attention? I don't think he was paying attention.
He doesn't revelate it. He only revelates 1 Hydra and an Overseer.
Yeah, he didn't see it.
He doesn't revelate, so he doesn't know where the Overlords are. He's missed them.
Yeah.
They're going straight to the main. But I think he's just going for a counterattack instead, trying to force these units to come back.
Oh, and the army is right in the middle. So out of position.
Yeah, here we go. The recall comes in, but the recall is not as strong as it used to be. But all these Colossi will finish. But will the Roach Hydra just get on top of the Colossi? Oh, actually, no. The buildings block him off. And all these Stalkers mean that the drop is not as effective as it could be. Oh, the Archons! Oh. They're coming in! Oh my god, that is brutal.
Oh, man.
Disc defending against this great crisis management from Disc, gets a huge trade against Hino. Oh man, suddenly Disc is in a dominating position. He's looking to counterattack, potentially win the game right here as these lurkers are scattered like rocks in the desert. They're going to try and come back. One lurker is cancelled. There's only a couple of lurkers here. That's not enough. Oh. Hino's in serious trouble as this force field comes down and kills even more stuff. He's down 30 supply. He's supposed to be up 30 supply at this stage of the game. He's making more Hydralisks, but there's only so few lurkers and even more are getting killed and they're going to move in, but they're just not going to be able to do much. There's only 3 lurkers here and a handful of Hydras as Disc just moves away.
Yeah, now he's going to look to maneuver to the top base. And I mean, there's just too much army from this. I don't know what Hino can do.
Time is not on Hino's side. This doesn't even need to kill Hino right here. So this is... I wonder if this is a PSISTM thing, because Raze and Disc both did this... no, it's Paco Mike who did this. I guess it's more of a metagame thing that the Colossus Stalker is coming back into fashion.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely making it work. And here we go. All the Hydralisk is getting burnt down by these Thermal Lances.
Yeah, and this 4th base is going to have to be forfeit. Hino's just giving it up. And means so now it's 4 bases to 3 as Zealots in the main base do wreak havoc at the same time.
This
oh
is
man,
just everywhere.
This is just so far ahead. I don't see how Hino is going to be able to win from here. He doesn't even have Hive on the way for a Hail Mary. +1 air starting, +3 ground, and I think that's Warp Prism speed from the robotics bay. Disc is just sealing this game up with super glue. He's just insistent. There's nothing that Disc is going to be that Hino is going to be able to do to get himself back into this game, and he just might be right. The Oracle even survives with 1 hit point left.
Not only the Oracle, but even the Warp Prism. So that Warp Prism can go ahead into the main base later in the game here.
Spire on the way as the Stalkers move forward with their blink. We do have a lot of lurkers from Hino, so this position is not really going to be breachable by Disc, but he doesn't care. He can just go after this 4th base from Hino. He's just going to try and starve the Zerg out, just like Parker Mike did to his teammate.
This is called a slow death here.
He's making 3 more Dropper Lords, Hino is, to try and get some damage done on the other side of the map. As Disc is just double expanding. He's expanding everywhere on the map, thinking, alright, if I've got you cornered, I may as well do this. And more Child Dots warping in to try and deny this 4th base from Hino, as Hino tries to double expand himself. Oh, but they actually warping the Zealots into the main. There are a few Hydras here to stop this Warp Prism, but they might be just a tiny bit out of position if Disc hugs the bottom wall.
Alright, Starstorm just finished. So this not only has the Colossus splash damage, but also has the High Templar to... Oh, actually, he only has like 1, I think, High Templar at this point.
+3 also finishes for him. He's starting DT Blink. He's getting a Fleet Beacon. 3 Lurkers going to try for some drops from Hino.
But in the meantime, there is a Zealot, another Zealot run by in the 3 o'clock position.
Oh, and it's going to kill so many of these drones that are long distance mining as well, before Hino can get any forces over there at all.
He's not even sending an army there to defend.
Yeah, but we do have some Lurkers trying to get some damage done. One of them will do reasonably well, but the others will just not get to unload in time. And this is a bit of a failure from Hino, this Lurker drop attempt, as the Zerglings will clean up the charge rots. But at what cost? Hino is in a terrible position right now. It's 6 bases to 5. And it's not in the Zerg's favor, which is never good. When Protoss has more bases than you. Even putting a bunch of stasis wards in the center of the map to delay or deny any attacks.
Oh my god, that wall of stasis.
Disc is embodying when ahead, get more ahead right now. As he's making 5 DTs, 10 cannons. But the wall at the natural is not actually covered by a Zealot. He can get in and try and get some damage done, but there is a DT here. And there's cannons in the main base even, and very little is actually going to get done from these Zerglings.
Yeah, this is one of the good things about having a Dark Shrine in the late game. You can use it to defend, and that's what also snipe out bases that don't have any detection.
Yeah, he's going for more Lurker drops, is Hino, sending a couple more. But they're going to actually run right into the army if Hino's not careful.
You know, I think Hino's just trying to buy time for his Greater Spire to be done, and then he can make that, really death ball of Brood Lords.
Yeah, but Disc is already moving, he's already preparing for this. He's already sending a bunch of Blink Stalkers to get damage done because he's happy to throw them away now and replace them with more high-value units. And these Lurker drops do nothing.
Meanwhile, the Blink Stalker army, small forces at the top, getting some damage done, sniping some more drones here.
He just doesn't have a standing army. He's got basically Lurkers and Corruptors. He doesn't have any Hydralisks, so he's not able to stop these Blink Stalkers from doing whatever they want. He's only got basically Zerglings to fend this off.
Yeah, this is just trying to trade out these Stalkers to create more supply for his army.
Although, the one saving grace of Hino is that Disc, he made the Fleet Beacon, but he's not really making Carriers or Tempests yet. And Hino has Broodlords on the way. If he can hit a Broodlord timing, he might just be able to salvage this game from the brink of defeat. But he'll need a lot of Broodlords because of these Dark Templar and Archons. Oh, look at that! Look at all those Dark Templar in that force of Disc in the main army. There's so many. There's like 12 Dark Templar.
There's 18 Dark Templars out on the map right now.
Oh my god! If he turns those into Archons, a corrupt-based force is going to be so dead. But I think, yeah, if he has like 6 to 8 Broodlords, He needs a few more than this, I think. But if you can get that and make an attack, I think you could get some damage done.
Oh, but there's actually an observer on top of the Zerg army. He sees this. I
Yeah.
don't think he doesn't have the supply to make Tempest though, so he might need to trade out some of his army to create that supply.
Yeah, that might be the one mistake Disc makes in this game that can actually cost him, in that he's going for a lot of these Dark Templar instead of going into those Tempests and Carriers. He's not making the higher tech units that he really needs. As we're getting Broodlords, we're getting Infestors. He knows making an end game army, and Disc is staying on a late mid game one. He's staying on a ground army. And all these Lurkers, all these Broodlords, they kill anything on the ground. I don't care what it is.
Oh man, here we go.
Yeah, Disc is forced to back away. Hino is going to start moving forward. The Blink goes forward to see what's going on. Revelation goes on the Broodlords and on the Lurkers.
Oh no!
As the Corruptors...
Wait, oh, we have a little bit of a lag here.
Yeah, who is it?
Oh,
It's Hino himself.
I was about to just say, his Lurkers are unburrowed here. This is a pretty dangerous time to be unburrowed. He might
Yeah.
I think because he's just lagged out, so that's probably... I mean, we might need to just go ahead and,
Resume
recover
from replay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if Hino does disconnect here. And just when the game was getting to its critical point. This is basically Hino's one shot.
Oh,
And I
man.
imagine we are going to have to resume from replay.
Yeah. But this is going to be a critical point when the replay gets resumed, because, now this does seize the Broodlords. You will have to make a decision to make Tempest immediately. But is it going to be out in time to defend against the big Broodlord army there? We
I
saw...
think it's going to come down to how well Disc can buy time.
Yeah. Alright. Thank you, Atnap, for hosting the stream with 8 viewers. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Here's the thing, Disc has so much money in the bank, but he hasn't really turned those into those tech units that he needs yet. Time is on Disc's side. If Disc can just spend his money on the right things, he wins this fight handily. But he hasn't. He's been getting a very, very powerful ground army, and I'm guessing he might not have expected Hino to have the breathing room to actually make Broodlords, but Hino has managed to squeeze them out.
Yeah, but this does have a lot of resources banked. He expanded pretty much throughout the whole map early on after he gained the advantage. So he does have a lot of resources to work with, but the problem is he needs to make them the right countered units quickly. Oh, get Salivant. Okay, gotta invite you here into the game.
Yeah, and if you lose an army as Protoss to this Lurker Broodlord force, it's going to kill basically all of your bases before you can remake another one. It takes so long to rebuild a complex Protoss army.
For sure.
So this is going to be a very, very interesting next few minutes.
Alright, looks like Hino is back in the game. And we're about to start this.
Imagine we'll probably resume a few seconds before we had the disconnect, since Hino did have that lack of borrowed Lurkers. But I think he has adaptive talent, so he should be able to... We're recovering from replay, so I guess we're recovering exactly from the disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
So Hino's going to need to act very quickly. But I think he knows. I think he's ready for that. We are going to recover this game. StarCraft 2 is helpfully boosting the suspense by making this happen so slowly.
Oh, man. Thank you, McC, for the follow. And then we go right into the right overlay here, so that we can just get into the game as soon as it begins.
And remember, if PSISTM Gaming wins this game, they have won the match.
Yeah,
if AlphaX wins this game, we will go to an ace match.
Oh man, I'm hoping for ace match.
We seem to get so many ace matches when
I
we
know,
cast.
right? It's crazy.
We're truly blessed. We really are.
Yeah, really are.
We get to cast all the best stuff. Well, not all the best stuff, but whenever we cast, it's usually some of the best stuff.
Yeah, the
great stuff.
StarCraft gods shines upon us.
Oh yeah. And sometimes I do my best to try and snatch these things up. Sushi likes to give us these ones, so. Plus,
Yeah.
when I heard that it was going to be PSISTM Gaming against us next week, I'm like, gimme, gimme, gimme.
Gimme, gimme, gimme.
I want it. I want to cast this. And I was right to want to cast it. We've had some great games, such high level play.
Definitely. And it could possibly continue on if Hino pulls this one out here.
Yeah, and he just might.
Yeah, I mean, just remember, guys, the position that Hino was in just a few minutes before. He was like down bases. He was down in the army by a
He was
significant amount.
dead. I think Disc was committed a little too heavily to his ground force.
Yeah,
And that gave Hino the one chance to get back into the game. And it takes a lot of skill to take on a little advantage your opponent gives you when you're so far behind and use that to claw your way back.
and there were moments where this could just straight out just killed Hino, but he decided to just sit back and let Hino build up his army.
All right. So we are ready. We are going to resume this game in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we've resumed just before the disconnect, so the lurkers are in fact borrowed. The revelation goes down. We do have these lurkers and broodlords, and Hino is going to need to advance forward. He's going to move on the basis of Disc, and he needs to do it now because Disc has the money. How many Stargates does he have? He doesn't have extra Stargates.
Oh, he doesn't even have the supply to make them.
Yeah, here come the Corruptors moving forward, sniping a Colossus. Yeah, thing is, he needs, if he had like 5 Stargates, he'd be in a much better position than he is, but he's only got the 1. He cannot afford to make an air army right now. He just can't do it. And here come the DTs, they try and blink on the lurkers, but I don't think that's going to work very well, actually. Wait, there's no Overseer.
Oh.
Where'd the Overseer go? I think he must have sniped it. And
Yeah.
now all of the Broodlords are starting to go down to the Blinkstalkers. Disc might have just done it. He's making so many Archons to take this down. And yep, that's it. Disc's going to move forward. He's going to take out the army of Hino. And that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. GG. And Disc will take it. 3-1 for PSISTM Gaming.
Wow. We did not even pay attention to the Blink DT upgrade. Oh
Not
my
thinking,
God.
I thought, the Blink DTs, if they blink on top of lurkers, they're just all going to die. So what's the point of paying attention to it?
Yeah.
I was aware it existed, but I just didn't think it was going to make a difference. But then the Overseer wasn't there, it was gone.
Yeah.
And suddenly, boom, all the lurkers go down, and then the Blinkstalkers take care of everything else. Beautiful tear apart by Disc to take apart that huge an army that I would have thought was impossible to take out with a ground force. But he did.
Oh man, just that one mistake, the Overseers. Unfortunate for Hino, but congrats to PSISTM Gaming. They proved themselves to be the better team tonight. Wins 3-1 and will be 2-0 in terms of their record within the
and I would be
first 2
very
weeks.
surprised if we did not meet again in the playoffs stages of the tournament. I think AlphaX and PSISTM Gaming are both very likely to get there with the kind of lineups we have, and I can't wait for the rematch.
Oh yeah, for sure. Looking forward to the rematch against PSISTM Gaming. Anyhow, guys, that pretty much does it. Any last words before we wrap this up, Sal?
Let's see what else we've got on our plate. So, tomorrow we have the AlphaX Contenders Cup Round of 16 Group D at 4 PM Eastern Standard Time. If you're an ATL fan, which we are as AlphaX, at 12 PM, 7 PM Central European Time, we have the ATL Euro Amateur match against Dark Oath, which will be 4700 MMR or below. So you can see some players who perhaps make you feel less bad at StarCraft than these incredible players do. And we have the Validity Team League also tomorrow, 2 hours after AlphaX Contenders Cup, which will be Platinums and Diamonds from Alpha Black, our Academy team, up against SC2 Swarm, a very strong team indeed. So we've got a lot of things coming up. And even an hour after that, we have ATL America's Amateur, something which I would be participating in, but sadly/happily have now advanced past the 4850 MMR threshold.
Oh.
But we will still see that. So we're going to see a lot of amateur action, whether 5600 MMR or below, 4700 or diamond level players in the coming days. So come and tune in. We've got a ton of stuff going on.
Yeah,
and great to see you all.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. All the follows, hosts, and bits. And this is your friendly neighborhood casting duo signing out.